Welcome back to Gloss and Boss. My name is Leah, and this is my friend Marie with Erasure here today. And as always, we are talking business, wins, losses, all the things. So Marie, I met you when you were working at a space at the oceanfront, and you were working as an employee then?
I was the manager there.
Oh,
so it was a med spa.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was doing aesthetic treatments and then became the manager, so I was doing both there.
Yeah, and that's how I met Marie.
Wow, really?
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I think you were my first facial there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was going to Erin for my Botox, and then I remember when like COVID happened, I had bought this whole package because I thought I was going to get you and Erin, and then I showed up, like went to make my, they're like, oh, she's not here, and I was like, you let me make this, buy all this stuff?
And then, by the way.
Yeah, I was like, no, give me my money back. I'm going to Erin and I'm going to Marie. So that's where I met her originally, and that was a long time ago.
Yeah. That was like maybe 7, 8 years ago.
Isn't that crazy? Small. The time goes by so fast. So there, and then I know you worked at another spot and you were doing just laser there?
I was just doing tattoo removal there.
Tattoo removal in there. Okay. And then that's when I got my first tattoo removal, which was terrible and great at the same time.
Pain-wise, terrible.
Pain-wise, terrible, yes, because she's been amazing to me ever since. And what I love about Marie is she knows how to read the room. And like, I feel like when you're in a business where you're inducing pain on a human, you need to like know how to do that.
100%. You have to be sensitive to, because it is not a very comfortable, treatment. But it also, some of these tattoos are tied to, I mean, some of them are just fun and, you know, no meaning to them, but some of them are tied to emotional things. So it's like, you really have to be able to understand who you're talking to and who you're treating. So
yeah, and honestly, I never even thought about it being like an emotional removal, like, you know, of an ex or of this or of that or of things like that, of your history, like thinking of that. And Marie's always just been so knowledgeable, like talking about the color pigments and everything, like using different lasers, even if it's red. I think you told me something like you'll hit it with another
purple because you know, depending on what the ink is, and I never know what the ink is, you know, purple could be just like, I mean, purple on the color spectrum is a combination of red and blue. So sometimes if the purple's not coming out, we have to use a combination of different lasers.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody's ever done that on me except for Marie. So I'm like, it's kind of cool to listen to her talking about those things. But she has been helping me with my laser tattoo removal journey, and it's been going great. So if you are looking for that, Marie is your girl. She is right off Laskin and Hilltop, right?
Hilltop North. Yeah.
Hilltop North. So what is the suites called?
My Salon Suites.
My Salon Suites, and she's right in there. If you go right into the left down the hall, you can find her there, or you can find her on Instagram, which we'll be sure to link. But I wanted to bring her in today because one, she's another badass business owner, and moving from like being somebody's employee to moving to be your own boss. How was that? And is there anything that you wish you could do differently when you did?
I wish I'd done it sooner.
Yes, I love that. I love that.
But yeah, I think it was just a natural progression for me because I've always kind of been, you know, like a leader when it came to things. The only thing that ever stopped me from opening my own business, even when I was younger, you know, I wanted to do like a trade, hair, nails, something of that nature, and just have my own spot. But the only thing that ever stopped me was, you know, hesitation, which I always tell people, I'm like, don't hesitate, just do it.
Yeah, you gotta take that jump. It's scary, but it's like, if you don't do it, you'll never know.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Yeah.
It's definitely one of those scary things. What made you decide to try to do, just because you're just now doing tattoo removal, right? So what made you kind of go that way instead of all the aesthetics?
Because I wanted to kind of hone in on a specialty.
Yeah.
I believe in this area, at least, the aesthetic industry is saturated.
I hear that so often.
Yeah, but not just saturated with, you know, I mean, saturated with like really good estheticians and skincare experts and stuff. So I'm like, I'm not even going to touch that. You know, I'm just going to go with what with tattoo removal. There's not too many tattoo removal.
Yeah, there really isn't.
Yeah. Clinics around here. So that's kind of what I wanted to
honed in on it.
Yeah. Just
and you're great at it. So that's awesome. And then is there anything like, like downfalls that you might have had, like trying to open your own business that you could help like others that are trying to get into maybe your industry or any industry that have like things that you can think of that could help somebody?
Yeah. So I think you have to kind of like when you're going to open, there are things you want to put money into, right away. Like, And then there are things that you can kind of figure out on your own.
Yeah.
Doing your own business license, the SEC where you become a corporation and things like that. You can kind of do that on your own, like figure that part out. Accounting.
Oh, yeah, no.
You want to hire an accountant?
Yes, I agree 110% with that.
Yeah.
Like, I love to run my business, and I know my numbers because of my accountants. Like,
yeah.
And I know a lot of businesses out there are like, you need to know your numbers, you need to know your numbers. I do know my numbers because my accountants tell me what my numbers are.
Yes. Know when to consult.
Yes.
You know, like, and, you know, always have your hands in everything, but know when to bring an expert in.
Yeah,
so.
because CEOs, if you look at big corporations, you don't see that CEO doing the emails or doing the accounting. They have people for those things. And you might not be able to do that right away.
Right.
But accounting is one of those things. An accountant is one thing I do highly recommend immediately starting your business.
Yes, exactly. If not for like the actual work, like you said, you know, kind of maybe not right away, but at least for the advice.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So
walking into that, and then have any wins that you've had like that were like aha moments in opening your business?
Yeah. So this is actually not my first business that I've opened. Okay. So before I got into the aesthetic industry, I had helped open a healthcare practice.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So my
That's
ex,
really cool.
yeah. So when we were together at the time, he is a physician and he wanted to, after his residency, he wanted to open his own practice. So we did that.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So I helped him do that. We were fortunate enough to have guidance. His dad is a dentist and has his own practice. He's retired
that's
now.
Cool. Yeah.
So he kind of like helped us with everything. And his dad's very like hands-on.
Yeah. I love that.
He's the one who told me about what you can kind of do without in the beginning and what you need to.
Yeah. Versus like jumping. A lot of people, I feel like when they go to open, at least in our industry, like the girls, when they go to booth rent even, or a suite rent, they want to buy the whole color line. I'm like,
right.
You don't have to do that right now.
Right.
Like, that might be $500 or $1,000. I'm like, why don't you look at your weeks of worth of color?
Yeah.
You know most of those clients because they're your clientele, and go purchase that a couple $100s worth versus $1,000 or $2,000 color line.
Right.
And it's just like learning those little things along the way. And it's really cool that you had guidance. And that's kind of what I try to do here for the girls, like when they go on their own. Like give them like a little step by step. I sat down with one of the girls the other day and I was like, all right, let's do what we need to do to get you there. And then we're going to put you on the floor and you're going to run your own business. So
yeah. I gave that advice not too long ago. Someone who wants to kind of incorporate themselves and do like rentals and things like that. And they were like, asking about a lawyer. They're like, a lawyer is going to, when it came to doing the S corporation, you know, like LLCing themselves and doing all that paperwork, like getting a tax number, all this startup. They're like, it's going to cost this much if I just let the lawyer do it. I was like, you can really kind of do that yourself.
Or your accountant will do it for you for free.
Yeah, for sure. And so, you know, kind of like I agree. Just kind of taking small steps and doing things. Definitely keeping up with your books.
Yeah. Know what you're bringing in.
Yeah, exactly. And kind of, even if you are your own, you know, even if you're the only one at your business, you know, kind of checking in with yourself and actually having meetings with yourself.
Seeing where you're at.
Yeah.
I have a little book. I actually haven't done mine in a really long time, but I have the girls doing it too. But basically I look at what I'm bringing in. It's like, I'm supposed to write down my daily totals, what I'm bringing in, what I'm putting out.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like checks myself and be like, okay, well maybe I should open my books, or maybe it's time to raise my prices.
Exactly.
Stuff like that. So I do think it is really cool if you keep track of yourself, even though it's really easy to get down that rabbit hole when money's just hitting your bank account every day.
100%.
You're like, oh, hell yeah, let's go, baby.
Yeah.
But then you're like, where'd all that money go at the end of the year? You know? So,
or if someone asks, like, what was your growth? And you have no idea, you know, it's kind of like...
It's definitely good to have systems in place. And if you don't know the system, find somebody that can help you, or an accountant will help you do that.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I had to learn boundaries.
Ooh,
so that's a big one. So yes. So segueing from like, you know, what you're talking about prices and things like that, you need to make sure that you are setting your fees, you know, for what your value is, what you're worth, what your skill is worth.
Yeah.
And thinking about
time.
Your time, the overhead, things like that. People are, you know, always talking about like, not always, but you know, someone will every once in a while mention like the fees for like tattoo removal. I'm like, but you don't understand how much this laser costs.
Well, the laser, and then your schooling. the time.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I mean, that's a lot.
The skill.
Aren't the lasers not owned, or they can be owned?
They can be. They can be owned. So you can rent it, you can lease it. I own mine outright.
Okay.
So,
but you still paid for that, and I know that.
Oh, yeah.
I know because we've had people like come to us and ask us if we want to buy them, and I'm like,
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I don't want that. I'm gonna stay in my lane.
We could either buy a condo in Florida or we can start our own business.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
And I do think when with setting boundaries, it puts the right people in your chair. Too.
Right. Yeah.
Because I have quit doing hair 3 times because I didn't have boundaries and I didn't know how to respect myself. I was overworked, or I had clients taking advantage of me, and then I didn't feel comfortable charging because they like didn't like something, and I just let people kind of walk all over me. And it's like learning that boundary. Like, I work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I don't work outside of that. So I'm not going to give you that appointment unless, I do have outside at work hour fees. You can pay and I will do that. But it's like, those boundaries were the hardest thing for me.
I think, yes, 100%. I think that's the hardest. I agree. It's the hardest thing about, knowing your boundaries as far as, what you're worth, fees, things like that, but also your time, just like what you said. People will come.
Yes.
People will come as long as you are backing up.
Yes. As long as you're putting out there what you're charging and like providing, you're going to get the right people in your chair.
Right.
So how do you feel like, what was your like aha moment when you realized you needed to put those boundaries in?
I don't remember like a certain like aha moment, but I just kind of remember that from when we were, I was working in healthcare. Yeah. And also when we had opened up the medical practice, because he was a fee for service, so no insurance there. And I would always sit there and talk to him like, are you sure we should be, charging this? And so I kind of took that into, my practice and my clinic, kind of like, no, this is what we're charging. This is what we're doing, but this is what everyone's getting out of it, and I stand behind that. And, I make sure everyone feels special and feels like each case is individual. Yeah. And feels good when they leave.
And that's how even though it might not feel the best. It might not feel the best. Listen, not all of it is terrible. The black ink, though, that can I'm like, dang, I should have never got black ink on my body.
Yeah. But at least it's short.
Yes, it is very short. It's very quick. And Marie is very, like, calm. And she, like I said, she knows how to read the room. So I never feel like, I don't feel like I'm being rushed when I'm in pain and I need a second. She never has made me feel that way. So if you are looking for that, I would definitely recommend going to see Marie. Talk about bedside manner, because that is one of my biggest things, not just in pain, tattoo removal, surgery, like all of the above.
Yeah. Well, I think that's helped me out a lot because I do have a nursing background, and, in nursing school, we are taught like, therapeutic communication and just having compassion for people. And I feel like I naturally have that anyway.
I agree.
But it was also taught to me or whatnot. So it's kind of like when the people come in, it's so important. One, because again, it is, like an uncomfortable procedure. Two, like you never know, what these tattoos mean to people.
Yeah.
And what they're going through. And just in general, I follow in life anyway. You never know what someone's going through.
100%.
So everyone who comes in is, you just treat them that way.
Yeah. And everybody's story is different. So you just don't know. And it's like, I do feel like in situations I've been in for laser removal or even surgery or tattoos, I've been pushed to go longer than my body can handle. Yeah. And I'm literally like shaking and like freezing cold. And I'm like, I am paying you and I don't want to be in any more pain right now.
Right.
Like, so it's like having those breaks to take off, or, and I understand like your time is money and you're working on somebody, but it is really nice when I'm sitting with you and you notice that I'm like running away from you and you're like, do you need a second? Like you're actually checking in with me and making sure I'm okay.
Yeah.
And that's one of my biggest, like, I know that it can be people's pet peeves because you're like, I have you in this chair and I have another client, but it's also like, I feel like you make that time for that to be able to happen.
Yeah.
And some people don't. Like, I've been just rushed through it, and like, if you can't do it too bad, I'm like, Jesus, I don't want to ever come back here.
Exactly. Well, I also customize the care for everybody. Everyone's different. Tattoos are different, and the way people react to tattoo removal is different. I set everybody up for a 30-minute appointment, but if there are some people that have bigger tattoos.
Yeah.
I'll set them up for a little bit longer, but it's not even just the size of their tattoos. If I have someone who comes in and they love to talk, I will give them a little bit more time. Yeah. I'm going to add 5 to 10 minutes to this appointment. It's okay with me. I'm okay with that. Because I just want everyone to come in and not feel like they're just an appointment or whatnot.
They're just a service. They're just an exchange, a money exchange. In and out. Here we go.
Yeah.
It's more personalized that way, in my opinion. Right. And I love that because I've never felt rushed or like I can't be in pain.
Yeah, right. Right.
And she numbs the shit out of me. So that also does help. Does it help the black? I do not think so. But
it takes the edge off a little bit. I don't know.
But the other lasers, I can have a full conversation with you, which is great. But I have so many that I'm removing. So it's just been like, honestly, this one's like.
That one looks good.
Right?
Yeah.
I know. I'm so excited. I don't know what my ear looks like anymore.
Oh, that one looks good too.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that looks great.
And this side's gotten so light. I'm so excited to see.
They look great. They look good. It takes a little bit of time. This is a journey, you know, so it takes a little bit of time, but I can see the progress little by little. So.
Yeah, and they say, isn't it like you can go like how often can you go in between each session?
8 to 12 weeks.
8 to 12 weeks. Yeah. And then if you want to wait a little longer, it kind of lets it purge more. How does that work?
Yeah. So what the laser's doing is just shattering the ink. So it's your body that's actually removing that shattered ink. It'd be great if technology was that advanced and we can have like lasers that say like, okay, 50% of the ink is shattered. So then I can tell you just come back when your tattoo's 50% gone.
Yeah.
But it's all kind of like based on research and like trial and error and everything. And they've noticed when it comes to tattoo removal, it takes about 8 weeks for like that fading to slow down. So then come back in 8 weeks.
Okay.
With the exception of the face. The face actually is faster. So
it's like rejuvenating like, so often.
Yeah. So the face, 6 weeks.
Never got brave enough to get a face tat. Maybe
brows.
In my future I'll get
a little teardrop,
a little star, a little a palm leaf.
Also brows.
I didn't even think about that.
Brows, lips.
How many people get laser removal for brows, you think? Probably
a lot. Yeah, I'd say about 50% of my clients are permanent makeup. Yeah.
I'm just picturing tattoos, not like, permanent makeup is a tattoo, but I've never even thought about people having to get that removed.
They either don't want them anymore, trends change, so just like with tattoos.
The way it goes.
Or they want them to, want to retouch it, but their brows are just so saturated.
Yeah, they need to have a refresh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. See, even your makeup removal.
Yeah.
We could do that.
Yeah. So my name is Marie West, Erasure Laser Studio. I can be found at my salon suites in Hilltop North in Virginia Beach. My Instagram is at Erasure Laser Studio. And my phone number is 757-679-9232 if you need to reach me.
All right, Marie. Well, thank you so much for being here today, and I will see you Monday.
Yeah.
I think so.
Thank you for my hair.
You're welcome. It looks so beautiful. It's grown so much.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for dropping in to Glossed and Bossed. We will see you next time. Please like, comment, subscribe, tell your mamas, your sisters, your brothers, your friends. See you soon.